following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Fox Sports.
Last night, the A's shut down the Rays' offensive attack, picking up their first win in the series. Today, it doesn't get any easier as the Oakland ace, Sonny Gray, goes to the hill. The Rays will counter with the Rasmal Ramirez, who has provided a spark of his own. After shutting out the Oakland A's in the first game of this series and then winning game 2, 5-2, yesterday, the Rays found themselves on the short end of a shutout. And so it's game 4 as the Rays beat the Oakland Athletics this afternoon at Tropicana Field. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Rays Baseball with Ryan Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Rays go for the series win this afternoon, and they're going to send the right-hander Rasmal Ramirez to the hill. Rough start the first couple times out with the Rays. Since then, quality.
And the reason for this, Dwayne, is that you got a guy out there that is more confident. He's been more aggressive. He's the guy that's dictating the action, the tempo, pounding the zone early. And what that ends up doing is when he does that and is able to get ahead, that makes his secondary pitches. You think about the slider, you think about the very good changeup that he has, it makes them more effective. And that is what he has done in putting up those numbers right there in his last 7 games, 2-0. That opponent's average, outstanding. And he's coming off a back-to-back starts. He picked up the win in both of them. He's got his work cut out for him, and so do the Rays hitters, because Sonny Gray, you see what he's done this year, a 4-2 record, the ERA at 1.92, good enough for second in the American League. The opponent's average of 200, tied for 4th in the American League. Really good stuff, really good idea how to pitch. That makes for a really good combo. This will be fun.
See Erasmo coming off that win that you mentioned over the Atlanta Braves, and a Tuesday loss against the Astros in his last outing for Sonny Gray, but just 3 runs, 3 walks, a little high for him in 5 innings and 7 hits. So it'll be 2 right-handers going at it here this afternoon to wrap up this series. How about David DeJesus? He just continues to get hits and get on base and drive in runs. And Todd Callis will break down this streak when we come back.
DeJesus loves that wet hair look as he gets ready to start this game against Sonny Gray and the Oakland A's. You know, the story of David DeJesus has been well chronicled. Here's a guy coming into spring training, thought he might be traded. A lot of rumors that he wasn't going to even make the 25-man roster for the Rays because they were looking to move him. Didn't have a spot with John Jaso. Jaso, one plate appearance into the season, gets injured, and David DeJesus has taken off from there. You heard Brian Anderson mention in the pregame show, he is really trusting his hands and letting the ball travel and exploding to the opposite field. You see that ball in the gap at Fenway. This ball crushed the other way against the Oakland A's early in this series. And then if you pitch him inside, he can turn on 1-2 for his 4th home run. Has 18 RBIs. Look at what he's done the last 17 games, using all fields, hitting very consistently in the Rays lineup. And we asked his hitting coach, Derek Shelton, about the recent play of DeJesus.
I think he's probably been more consistent than he has, well, at least at any time he's been here. And I think from talking to him, maybe at any point in his career, the fact that, you know, the way he's driving the ball. I mean, he drove a ball the first night in this series that got caught. But, yeah, he's been really consistent for us, and he's been huge. We wouldn't be where we're at without him. The consistency of his bats, the professionalism of his at-bats, and then, you know, he's got some enthusiasm, so you know he's having fun. So we're very fortunate, but he has sprayed the ball around a lot, which is good to see.
DeJesus 1 for 6 in his career against Sonny Gray, the former Oakland A, the Tampa Bay Rays, ready for baseball. Less than 3 minutes till the first pitch. Couple of righties, Sonny Gray, Erasmo Ramirez. Enjoy all the action next with Wayne and BA on Sun Sports.
Erasmo Ramirez on his way to the mound to face the Oakland Athletics here this afternoon in the final game of the series. Rays will have Erasmo's former teammates, the Seattle Mariners, next up on this homestand. But the focus today will be on Oakland, and here is the Oakland lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Billy Burns leads it off, followed by Marcus Semien. Josh Reddick hits third in front of Stephen Vogt. Billy Butler, the DH. Max Muncy plays third again. Mark Canha is at first base. Eric Sogard out at second. And Sam Bull bats ninth, playing left field.
Here are the numbers on Erasmo Ramirez, making his 5th start of the season. 2-1 record. Those 2 wins coming in his last 2 starts, defeating the New York Yankees and the Atlanta Braves, going 5 innings in each.
Here is the first pitch of this game. Burns swings and hits a shot deep into right, and that one is going to get out of here. On the very first pitch of the game, Burns turns on a fastball and hits it out to make it 1-0. His first career home run.
Well, that's just a straight ambush job by Billy Burns. You know, we talked about Ramirez being in the zone early, and this pitch trying to come in. That ball stays middle. That's the danger of that pitch. When you go in, you've got to be able to get it in there. If it leaks back middle, you're susceptible to that.
Well, Burns yesterday, in his last plate appearance in that game, got his first big league RBI. It was a bases loaded walk. And now on the very first pitch he sees today, he hits his first big league home run. Third home run allowed by Ramirez in just over 29 innings. Here's a tap to third. Longoria takes care of that. Marcus Semien is out number 1.
Well, let's take a look at the Rays defense, brought to you by BMW. In the outfield left to right, we have Geyer, Kiermaier, and Souza Jr. Across the infield third to first, Longoria, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Loney, with Bobby Wilson behind the plate.
Here's Josh Reddick. And the pitch is a strike to Reddick. Reddick at 306. He has 6 home runs. And a big cut and a miss. Well, the home run given up by Ramirez, his first since Mark Teixeira hit one off him for the Yankees back on the 11th of this month. Popper left side, short left, and out from third, Longoria. Longoria covering a little ground there. He's already right in the middle of all the action.
Well, yeah, and how about the first play? This one, you couldn't get to it in time, but that ball took a funny hop coming off that turf. And what a great adjustment made by Evan Longoria. That ball almost got by him off the bat of Marcus Semien, and then he's got to range out into shallow left field for the pop-up. Busy man.
And boy, you think about his ability to make that play on that ground ball after a home run. That ball's by him. It's a double for Semien. Now you've got a man on second with a run already in and nobody out. You're thinking the sky's ready to fall.
And you know why? He's cranked it up a notch today. He took a beating on the bench with Logan Forsythe at some of the plays that he was making, and everybody's saying, hey, listen, we got a guy down at third base today that can make some plays.
Yeah, so he's got to reassert himself down there, stave off any serious competition from that guy right there who's at second base today.
And we were laughing and talking about that yesterday, but you could see everybody kind of giving him that line drive that Forsythe caught.
You saw it all over his face.
All over his face. And that's what you miss about being in the dugout, that camaraderie, and they're just giving him the business, and the guy's got gold gloves. He's a tremendous defender, but anytime you can take a shot, you will.
It's a lot less straightforward than the booth.
No filters in the dugout.
There's ball 4 inside. So Stephen Vogt draws a walk. He heads to first with 2 gone. And now Billy Butler. Well, Oakland getting a leadoff home run. The first leadoff homer they've had since Coco Crisp hit one last August. They're not sure what the future will hold for Coco Crisp with that neck situation reoccurring. Butler takes the pitch down, 1-0.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because he can still play, can still run. Everything goes very well for Coco Crisp except that neck, and that an issue with the neck, an issue with the back. It just shuts everything down.
Word we're hearing about the neck, if he can rehab it, he might still be able to play. But if he undergoes surgery, good chance he won't be able to play.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
That's serious. Big cut and a miss by Butler, 1-2. This one is down 2-2. You think of the home run that Ramirez just gave up to Billy Burns. He's known for his speed and certainly not for his power. The other two home runs given up by Ramirez, Jose Bautista, and as we mentioned, Mark Teixeira. And then here comes Billy Burns. Base hit into right as Butler hits it the other way. Vogt turns second and holds on there. Whoa. And boy, there's a throw back in from Souza that got away from him, kind of floated across the infield.
And Billy Butler, we've talked about it all series, not afraid to use the other side of the diamond as a right-handed hitter. And he just lets that ball get into the zone. He's got a wide open hole to use. Stephen Vogt wondering go or not go, and that ball, you're right, just kind of fluttered out of the hand of Souza Jr. and almost airmailed the infield.
Now Max Muncy. Line drive, and it's going to be caught. The Rays had him defensed perfectly. Cabrera made the grab. A run on the home run. Bottom of the first coming. Starting lineup put together by Kevin Cash. Starting lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealer. Kevin Kiermaier leading it off. Then Steven Souza Jr. and Evan Longoria. James Loney hits cleanup in front of Logan Forsythe with David DeJesus, the designated hitter. Cabrera, Geyer, and Wilson 7, 8, and 9 in the Rays lineup against the young, excellent Oakland right-hander.
Boy, one of the best in the game. 1.92 earned run average in 9 starts. Second in the American League.
And the first pitch to Kiermaier, he takes low. Sonny Gray out of Nashville, Tennessee. Born in Nashville. Grew up in a little town in that area. 1-1. Went to Vanderbilt. And he's a good one.
You combine a repeatable delivery with good stuff, a good idea in how to use that stuff, and you end up with a top-end, top-notch pitcher. And that's exactly what he is. And he gives you so many different looks. The fastball, the cutter, hard slider.
2-2. And really, his stuff is alive. John Jaso was saying that, and he was, as you know, over with that Oakland club, nothing he throws is straight. Chopper by the mound. Sogard bare hands, but no chance. Kiermaier beats it out for an infield hit.
We saw Kevin Kiermaier almost get one of those in yesterday's ball game early. Just a chopper, a soft chopper. It's as good as a bunt with his speed. Just flying down that line, and Eric Sogard, everything that he could do. That's why you see Sonny Gray going after that ball so aggressively. He knew if this gets by me, there's no chance Sogard's going to get it.
So there's the base hit with Kiermaier aboard to start it. That gives him a 9-game hitting streak now. He's kind of quietly put together that 9-gamer. Souza lifts a popper right side, and that's out of play. Well, you can see the effect that Canhaus playing first base because he was trying to track that one. He played first base yesterday, and it can take more than a game or two to get accustomed to tracking a fly ball or a pop foul under the roof here.
He may have fertilized those sideburns last night because they look a little more full today.
2-0, got caught in the rain.
Yeah.
The one on the left side looks really filled in.
Yep.
Nice job. See if we can get a look at the right side a little later. See if they're properly balanced.
I did a science experiment on different fertilizers when I was in like the 7th grade. So I'll be able to tell you, it looks like he used brand A on the left and then brand B on the right.
He might be conducting his own experiment.
Either way, the finished product's going to be good. It's aggressive.
Very promising. Souza fouls it back. Souza a couple strikeouts yesterday, drew a walk and then hit a line drive back to the wall and left that was eventually caught. Well, this guy strikes out a lot and makes hard contact. Pops it up, and Canhaus after this one, trying to make sure he keeps track, and that ball just out of play.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot of in between with Souza Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. He hits a ball hard, and it's got that different sound. That ball jumps off of his bat. And then there's also the strikeout where there's been a lot of those.
Yeah, he's really been an interesting player because you can see what would attract people to him as a player. Speed, hits the ball hard.
Is willing to work.
Ground ball back to Gray. Out at second. Low throw, and Souza beats the throw back to first.
Yeah, how about that? You know, you got a guy up on the mound that his only job is to throw pitches to a catcher, and he can spot those things wherever he wants. And then he got a chopper ground ball double play there, tailor-made. Fires that ball right into the dirt almost. Nice dig out by Semien, but that's not going to be able to get the job done as far as the double play goes.
Well, let's see if the Rays can make something out of that. The inability to get that double play. Here's Evan Longoria. Evan starts the day at 281. And that's a cut and a miss. That pitch moving away from him. Evan 2 of 9 in his career against Sonny Gray. Gray just 25 years old. Over to first and back in is Souza. Souza 7 of 10 in the steal department. Fly ball will carry to center, and Burns is there. So 2 outs.
Well, let's go ahead and set that Oakland defense for you. Brought to you by BMW. In the outfield, left to right, we have Sam Fuld, Billy Burns, and Josh Reddick. Across the infield, third to first, Max Muncy, Marcus Semien, Eric Sogard, and Mark Canha, with Stephen Vogt behind the plate.
James Loney. Loney 3 for 7 in his career against Gray. And that's a ball, says Joe West. Gray 1-1 against the Rays in 3 career starts with a .332 earned run average against the Rays hitters. There goes Sousa, a ground ball, fair up the left field line. Fuld will go get it into foul territory. It throws back to second. Sousa's going to try to score, and the throw is in time as Fuld Vogt hangs onto that. Boy, Fuld back to second, and Sousa trying to slip home with a collision and barreled into Vogt, and both players appear to be all right. Let's certainly hope so. Don't see many of these anymore. And here's another look at that play.
Well, the only thing that I could think of is that Steven Souza Jr. coming around third kind of stutter stepped, and I thought maybe he's thinking Sam Fuld is making a play on James Loney at second, so there's going to be action behind me. I can sneak home, trying to catch him by surprise, but Marcus Semien cut that ball, immediately got it to Vogt, and then you got the collision and the out. But that's the only thing, because Charlie wasn't waving him, and I think you're just catching him by surprise.
A decision that the runner makes on his own there. Sousa decided to try to sneak home. There's Canha with a ground ball, and they're going to call him out. Forsythe to Loney, and the call by Gabe Morales is that Loney hung around just long enough on the bag.
Yeah, I think he did too. He kind of launches himself to track this ball down by keeping that foot on there, right there. Yep, that's a good call. Really good call. And a nice job by Loney.
Yeah. See that throw from Forsythe kind of dropped down on it a bit. And Loney, a great job of securing the out at first. Eric Sogard. Pitch is high. You know, after that play at the plate, Bob Melvin came out, had a conversation with Joe West, but it appeared to be a clean play when you break it down as to the decision by Souza, and there's Vogt. I mean, it's a collision. As we said, you don't see those very often now with the emphasis on cutting down collisions. But Souza came barreling in. Vogt was right there.
Yep. And you know, let's think about this. Most plays at the plate, you have a feel that it's going to happen. Runner on second, base hit to the outfield, so the catcher is setting himself up. As you see Vogt, that throw takes him, you know, into the bag. There was a lane there initially, but then it was closed off, and Souza Jr. is so close that he's gonna go into him. And that play happened so quickly. There was no real setup, wait for the play to happen. Here he comes. It just happened.
Yeah, there was no unnecessary movement on the part of the catcher or the runner there. The throw carried him into the path, and it resulted in a collision. Swing and a miss by Sogard. He's out on strikes.
It's one of those things now that catches you by surprise as a viewer and us up here in the booth, because you don't see it anymore. That used to be commonplace. But now with the new rules and the way that the catcher's set up.
And you know, the interesting thing about that is that he anticipated a play maybe at second, but the throw from Fold turned out to be not to second base. That throw was taken about 10 feet, at least 10 feet to the shortstop side of second,
which he doesn't know. You know, he sees the throw go behind him, and the throw is going to second base. It's just that Semien cut it off. And I think that Souza Jr., you know, we've seen him at times not be aggressive on the base paths. A couple of fly balls deep into the outfield where he's been on second, and he's not tagged up, and should have. And so maybe that's one of those, well, I'm going to be super aggressive next time. The throw's behind me. I'm assuming a play back there, and all of a sudden he tries to sneak a run. Morris Buttermaker taught us to never assume in baseball.
Yeah, not a good idea. Because you know what happens.
You get thrown out at the plate, and Stephen Vogt
holds onto the baseball,
right,
despite the big-time collision. 1-2 now to Fold, and he's out on strikes. 1, 2, 3. Go the Oakland A's. Bottom of inning 2 coming. 1-0 Oakland. Steven Souza in that collision at the plate. Let's break this down again.
Well, he sees right here, he's looking out at Sam Folds, starting to slow up. He sees the aggressive throw behind him at second, and he immediately picks up the pace. He was trying to steal a run, and the A's were able to catch him. That's exactly what was going on. I mean, he's assuming, I'm going to stop at third, but he sees an aggressive throw going behind him, and off he went.
Well, as we said, he's an interesting player because he can run. It's an idea that if it works, then you're a hero.
Yep.
And a genius on top of that. But as it turns out, Bolt's throw was aggressive, but not a throw that was airborne and headed to second, and it made it to the cutoff man. And as I saw it, Simeon made the reception on a hop there as the cutoff guy, and then turned and made the throw.
And the thing in Souza Jr.'s defense, you don't know that.
Yeah.
All you see is a left fielder coming up, and he's throwing a ball. He's not lollipopping it in there.
With every reason to think that it's going to go to second.
Yep. And it just happened that, it got cut off, and Simeon made cut it nice and got the throw to vote.
There's the 0-2 lifted into center by Forsythe, and that drops for a base hit. Well, Logan is aboard. I don't know if we had a chance to see or not, but Charlie Montoyo at third base was priceless in the aftermath of all that.
That was the best shot of the tagout at home plate.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can get back to that at some point. There's Charlie.
He was
a bystander in that situation because Souza made up his mind.
And by the look on his face, you judge what kind of a bystander he was.
David DeJesus. One and 0. Well, DeJesus having a great year, hitting .330 right now. Rays have picked up a leadoff single from Forsythe in the second. And a good takedown. 2-0.
Boy, he had a busy day yesterday. A couple of hits, a hit by pitch, a walk. He's been in the thick of the action for a while now.
Into left field. Bolt's going to have to go back on this one. Is there on the track to make the catch.
I tell you, David DeJesus is having some tremendous at-bats, and I know that that's a fly ball to left field, but he hit that ball hard the other way, and that's been one of the staples of his resurgence here the last 3 weeks, where he's just torn the cover off the ball, hitting over 420.
Well, we've made this point before, and you brought it up about his work on that road trip to New York in the batting cage, where this is all part of the game plan for DeJesus, with the ball on the tee and just over and over hitting it into left center field.
Working on mechanics, just working on mechanics. You can go out and have a batting practice pitcher throw you BP, but not every pitch he's going to put where you want to work. David DeJesus that day wanted to work on the pitch that was deeper in the strike zone and on the outer half of the plate. Well, you can't duplicate that every single pitch. So you go to the tee and you just work on that muscle memory.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, and there's a steal for Forsythe.
Well, that's a good teammate, is Drupal Cabrera. That ball was, unless you're Ichiro Suzuki, you're not going to be making contact with this one, and he's going to take a swing anyway.
Ground ball. It's headed for Simeon at short. Forsythe goes to third. In the game today and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. The Rays with a man at third, and Brandon Guyer will be the hitter. Guyer shortens and takes that pitch low. You know, on that ground ball to short by Cabrera, and the story around this Oakland club, as we've chronicled, has been the poor defense. And Simeon at shortstop with 16 errors. Ron Washington brought in, spent the last couple days pregame working with him, and he was a little unsure on that ground ball. It really is a routine ground ball.
Yep, it wasn't the easiest hop to handle, but it was, you know, routine, no question about it. But was not smooth either. Looked very uncomfortable. I think just trying to make sure that every play gets made, and that is the danger. It's not that he doesn't have the physical ability, it's the mental part. When you have that many errors into May, it's all upstairs. And then you feel like, well, they went out and hired Ron Washington because of me. And maybe that even adds even more onto that.
And a good cut at the fastball. He fouls it back. 2-2 now.
And that's the tough part of this ball game. It's unrelenting. It's every day. You just got to keep at it.
Well, the defense, and as we've pointed out, the bullpen situation has been difficult for Oakland. Guyer takes it into right toward the line. Reddick on the move is there and gathers it in. A little basket catch toward the corner. And the Rays leave a man at third. We're through 2. 1-0 Oakland. One nothing. Happy to have Brian Ault, the president of the Rays, join us here for the top of the third. And Brian, let's turn it over to you, and B and I'll take a break. How's that?
I don't think we're quite ready for that, but great to be here.
It's great to have you here to spend a little time and talk about not only what we've seen of the Rays on the field, but off as well. And if you have any ideas about how to get Billy Burns out here in this game today, we'll take those as well. Burns with a base hit on the first pitch to center field. Let's talk about this operation a little bit. You've been around for a while, assuming the role this year as president of the team. The primary order of business is try to win games on the field, but there's a lot going on off the field as well.
Sure, yeah. This is my 10th year with the organization, and it's the 10th year that Stu Sternberg has been the principal owner. And in that time, we've really been focused on our mission, which is to energize our community through the magic of Rays baseball. And while certainly winning is our focus, we want our organization to be about more than just that. And so we try to do a lot off the field as well.
Your background before coming to the Rays, strong in education, and that's something that not only would be dear to your heart and mind, but the organization as well.
Yeah, the part of our Raise Up campaign is to raise up for education, and that's certainly near and dear to me, having been a fourth grade teacher for 5 years prior to this job.
Marcus Semien up here, 2 strikes to count with a runner at first.
With the Raise Up initiative, what other areas are you looking to hit? I know education, one part. I think there's a few more.
Yeah, we're focusing on 4 specific areas this year: kids, education, health, and heroes. Heroes being first responders, police, military, etc. All of which, are incredibly important areas of focus for us. The Rays organization is really involved very deeply in our community. We have board members on 52 different organizations, 52 nonprofit organizations. Our employees get 1 paid day off per month to volunteer at any organization they want to. So this is something that really matters to us, and we're trying to incorporate Raise Up beyond just a marketing campaign into a real community effort as well.
And this involves the players, Kevin Cash. I mean, who all is involved in this outside of the offices?
Sure. Well, starting on June 1st, you'll see Chris Archer, who's our spokesperson for Raise Up for Kids, and then you'll see Kevin Cash, Matt Moore, among others involved. Our players they really do care about this too. And while again they like us are focused on winning first and foremost, we all want the organization to be about what we are able to do, not just on the field but off the field as well.
The winning, which is what every club wants to do, but it does go hand in hand with how effective some of these programs in the community can be.
Sure. I mean, I think the Rays brand has really changed a lot over the last 10 years, and not just the removal of the devil. And part of that brand identity comes with the excellence that we promote by being a really great baseball team. And that allows us to do so much more in the community. It really empowers us to do all the other things we want to do to become a part of the fabric of Tampa Bay.
Josh Reddick here with a strike to count. 1-1 now. 1 on. Burns at first. Semien retired on the fly ball to right field. Brian Alt, the president of the Rays, taking a little time to spend with us here in the booth in the top of the 3rd inning.
How busy does this keep you?
Pretty busy. Pretty busy for sure.
Burns will head to 3rd on the base hit to right by Reddick, setting up 1st and 3rd with 1 out.
With respect to that, though, it's our community partners who do all the real work in the community. We try to provide the resources the Rays can bring, the visibility that we can bring to some of their causes. You see what we've got going on in the outfield today in terms of a cut for the cure. Those are the ways that we can really help out, and our partners are really great at utilizing all the assets that the Rays can bring to bear.
Yeah, you've talked about fundraising, and that obviously is a big part of this as well. But the in-kind trade out, if you will, is also time given, expertise given, the coordinating of these programs.
Certainly. We have a great venue here. We have a great product. We're able to give folks tickets. We're able to bring people together. We can convene folks. You'll see during our Raise Up campaign, we're going to recognize a handful of everyday MVPs, one per game, and that's a way for us to highlight some of the great things that are going on throughout our community. And our hope is that as people see that, they will choose to raise up too. Part of our campaign is to ask our fans, how do you raise up? And I encourage them to tell us through our website, through our social media outlets, and any other areas that they care to work with us.
It begins with a positive approach. I think we have seen that with a turnaround in what I think, and I think more and more people are beginning to realize what an unbelievable story this has been, not only in baseball but all of sport, with these essentially the sustained success of this team over the last 6, 7, 8 years has been pretty amazing. And it all begins with the idea that, and the belief that you can accomplish something like that, whether it's on the field or in the community.
Yeah, a strong confidence and belief and plan has always been key to the Rays' success. We've believed in ourselves and our ability to really do great things with this organization since Stu took over the team. I know that we've had our ups and downs, and we certainly have our struggles from time to time. But we've been really proud of our ability to follow our plan and have confidence in what we're doing, know that we're doing the right things for the right reasons, and we've seen that bear out on the field, and I think we'll see it bear out in some of the real impact we have in our community as well.
You know, there's a program here, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago briefly, but we have you here specifically right now aimed at the St. Pete area in terms of the police department here in St. Pete combining with the Rays in essentially an outreach program that we'll get to after this fly ball. Kiermaier in line to make the catch, tag, and that's going to score the Speedy Burns to make it 2-0. It seems like a win-win situation all the way around, if you want to explain that.
Yeah, our outreach program with the St. Pete Police Department, and I'm pleased to say the Clearwater Police Department is coming to meet with us soon, and I hope that we can expand it to police departments throughout the region, is designed to give officers an even easier method of connecting with the youth in particular in the communities they serve. And so Chief Holloway has really been the leader of this initiative, asking his officers to park their cars, get out of them, walk the communities, and get to know the constituents that they aim to serve. What we've done is we've given those officers vouchers for 4 free tickets to games so that kids and their families can come out to the park, and that officers have a nice icebreaker, a good way to introduce themselves to the community and to say, hey, you know, we're not just here to give you a hard time. We're here to protect and to serve, and I know our officers are really incredible people across the board. So this is meant to just allow them to really build those relationships.
Yeah, Chief Holloway was a big believer in that his time in Clearwater, and I think it makes a lot of sense to have the team involved in this program in St. Petersburg as well. Ray's wondering about that pickoff attempt over at first, and Kevin Cash out to have this thing reviewed.
You know what? And it was initiated by James Loney. The pickoff throw goes to James Loney. He catches it right close with the tag there. Boom. Yep, he's going to get him. And I'll tell you something. As soon as he made that tag and they called him safe, James Loney looked right into the Rays dugout and said, go ahead, check it. And they're going to get this one overturned. Listen, Dwayne, this will be the third. This is a big day.
It is. Well, we're trying to get the record of Chico Fernandez back in good territory. How about that?
Yes, it was. I mean, quick. There you go.
So, hey, you brought a little good fortune to the club here as well in the challenge department, Brian.
Great to talk with you guys, but can't say that I'm not pleased the inning's over now.
All right. Brian Hall, the president of the Rays, with us. We're headed into the home half of the third. 2-0 Oakland. Get it overturned. They're down by a couple now here against Sonny Gray, and Bobby Wilson leads off the home half of the third, takes the pitch for a strike. Kiermaier and Souza Jr. will follow.
Isn't Sonny Gray an oxymoron?
It's a complete sentence that contradicts itself.
It does. I think that's why I like the name.
A walking contradiction on the mound, Sonny Gray.
It's a really good song by Green Day, by the way. Really good song. Better video, even.
Wilson reaching and is out on strikes. We'll go back around to the top of the order. Kiermaier with a base hit, an infield hit his first time. Pitch is in there for a strike. One. Gray will throw a lot of ground balls. Comes in with a sub-2 earned run average and a ground ball percentage of a little over 50%.
You know, and that's one of the. I would love to see that stat changed, because when you hear that, a ground ball percent of 50%, you think, okay, he's 50-50 on ground ball, fly ball, and that's so misleading. You know, because when you look at the breakout, he's well over 1 3/4 to 1. I mean, it's not 50%, but the way that they figure it out, it's just a misleading number, and I cannot stand it. I really can't. I like the ground ball ratio, because then you go, is he a 2 to 1?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. But that percentage, it really makes you go, well, he's not such a big ground ball guy. If it's 50%, that's only half.
Yep. Well, he's got, at least coming into this game, 57 strikeouts. And that's a pretty healthy percentage there in terms of innings pitched. So you'll get a few strikeouts and a fair share of ground balls with him on the mound. Strikeout and a fly ball, and Kevin Cash is going to come out and take a look at Souza Jr. He has from time to time had issues with his wrist.
And after that collision with Stephen Vogt, we had a camera on him warming up in the outfield, out in right field, and he was messing with that wrist. His glove hand was messing with that wrist after the collision with Vogt. And so, yeah, right there, Ron Porterfield hit the spot. You guys were showing him in between innings. He took his glove off and started.
So Porterfield examining that left wrist, and they checked it with the right wrist there, and they're going to walk him off.
Yeah, and I really think that had something to do with the collision with Vogt.
So Ron Porterfield and Kevin Cash accompanying Souza back into the dugout. You see Joey Butler already with a helmet and a bat. So it would appear that Souza will leave this game. We'll remind you of the Rays Flex Packs come with one of 8 great gifts of your choice, starting at just $59. These Rays Flex Packs allow you to choose any 3, 6, or 9 games with no blackout dates. And you get half off parking when using the funds loaded to your Rays card. For details, visit RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS.
Well, here it was. He's playing catch in the outfield, and you can see right there something's bothering him. And that was the half inning after the collision. And so there was an issue brewing. And then you start to think about swinging a bat.
So good work by the guys in the truck to bring back that shot. And then we'll take a look at this one.
Number 9, Joey Butler.
Good land on that arm in that collision. Here's a look.
Left arm. That's pretty violent. You could see that just ripple right through the forearm. That may have been it.
So Joey Butler in, and he fouls the pitch up the right side. Runs the count to 0-2.
In the offseason, you want to start a private investigation firm? Putting together some pretty good evidence here.
I guess we are, aren't we? Got a pretty good crew.
It's all about piecing it together.
2 outs with the bases empty. Yeah, we're compiling a whole list of things to do then.
It's going to be a busy winter.
And he is out on strikes. Slider got him. We go to the 4th. 2-0 Oakland. Go places by H.H. Gregg. Top brands, low prices, fast delivery. Gregg's got it. And by Morgan Auto Group. Make it Morgan. We can make it happen. Well, Billy Butler will open the 4th inning. He was at the plate when the Rays prevailed in that challenge of the pickoff of Reddick. So Butler leads off the 4th inning. Joey Butler's now in left field for the Rays, and Brandon Guyer goes over to play right field with Souza out of the game. 2-0 the count. Ramirez behind Billy Butler. Muncy next, and then Canha. That evens the count. A foul ball. So the Rays now have Joey Butler in left. Kiermaier still in center field. Brandon Guyer over to play right. And a full count on Billy Butler. And there's ball 4 to open the inning. The second walk given up by Ramirez. Take a look at our Toyota trend coming up here. Erasmo Ramirez. Well, the first 2 appearances this season didn't go all that well, but in the last 9, the opposition hitting only 138 off him.
Well, he just got more aggressive in the zone. Those first 2 outings, they were disastrous as far as the line goes, but he has bounced back and been very, very good. His last 2 starts against the Yankees, against the Braves, he won both of them. Doing exactly what the team is asking him to do.
Just strike. Once he had taken the first pitch changeup out of the zone. One and two.
That's what pitching ahead or even with that changeup. He really can exploit hitters with that changeup. He has a good one. Same arm action, the same spin of the baseball as the sinker. But it becomes more effective when you can put it outside the zone, below the zone, where you want to put it.
And a cut and a miss. Well, he takes care of Muncy. Got ahead of him and picks up his 3rd strikeout.
Well, he comes with the slider too, and we talk about Chris Archer's slider and how much depth it gets. Ramirez, and you saw it right there with the arm angle and the spin that he creates. Not a ton of depth, but it sweeps. He's got a sweeping slider that he'll throw in the mid 80s. That pitch was at 84. But it covers a lot of ground as far as home plate goes.
Pitch inside to Canha. One and one.
It's funny. Not all pitches created equal. You think about just Archer and Ramirez, both fastball slider. Archer's fastball, 4-seam, doesn't move a lot. Slider, a lot of depth, hard. Ramirez, arm side run with the fastball. It runs one way, the slider kind of runs the other. Completely different, even though you call them the same 2 pitches.
Two one to count. You think that'd be a great combination for Ramirez in conjunction with the changeup? You get 2 pitches that tend to move in different directions.
Yeah.
And then you throw the changeup in the mix. You can see why the Rays would take a flyer on him, given the dynamics of those 3 pitches.
And I'm sure the encouragement, because we've talked about the fact that his walk rate had continued to get worse and worse the longer he was in the big leagues, and you wonder, is it because he's just shying away from contact, or what exactly is the cause? Well, over here there's been that encouragement. Hey, go out and attack hitters. You've got a good defense behind you. We trust your stuff. They give these guys great game plans, and it's pitcher specific, and so they know what will work.
Well, there's no question that in the short time he's been here, he's a more confident guy now than when he got here.
Well, outside of being on the mound, and even sometimes when he's out there, a smile on his face all the time.
Full count. And it makes sense too. If you're a little timid with that strike zone, you find yourself behind. That's not a good way to go through life pitching.
No, not consistently. You get away with it every now and then, especially if you're a stuff kind of guy. But if you're not, look out.
Well, he walks Canha. And now 2 men on, 2 walks in the inning. And we're going to get down to Eric Sogard. It's 3 walks on the day for Ramirez. And he hasn't walked 3 in an outing since the 15th of April when he had that tough outing against the Blue Jays. Made that start. There's a fly ball into center field. Kiermaier is right there and makes the catch. So a routine fly ball to center. Kiermaier just with a nice little leap there on the finish of that catch.
I missed it.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
And that was, it was so routine that I was already putting it in the book, and I missed the little hop.
That's just a natural finish to anything he catches, apparently. Take a look at this. This is great.
Well, it is Sunday, and if there's any day that you're going to church it up, it's today.
Absolutely.
I'm so sad I missed that in real time.
Fold takes the pitch. Now he's just so anxious to get that put out that he's just going to go meet it.
Boy, there's so many guys on this Rays team that are like just bundles of energy.
Yeah. That was a Sunday go to meet it catch in center field by Kiermaier.
As opposed to the Monday, the Tuesday, the Wednesday.
1-1 to count here on Sam Fold. Well, there's no question the Rays have some fun players to watch, some interesting guys, and we talked about Souza earlier and what he brings, and he's interesting to watch. And Kiermaier in his own way very fun to watch as well. 2-2 now on Fold. A lot of energy there in center field.
Oh yeah, this whole roster really. There's not. You can't think of one guy that takes anything for granted. Mm-hmm. Everybody out here working, having fun, putting the requisite work in. A lot of times more than that. They want to be good. I think they sense an opportunity in this division, and everybody's been chipping in.
Fold is out on strikes. We're going to go to the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Oakland.
The Trumpets cut for a cure day. If you're here, come to the left center field gap. We're at the Captain Morgan's deck, and there is a ton of action going on. Everyone donating $20. All the proceeds go to pediatric cancer, and you're seeing a lot of sharp-looking kids and some grown-ups, too, getting a good haircut or two here, courtesy of Sports Clips. If you can't be here, you could still go online to pcfcutforacure.org and donate $10, or you can text PCF to 2022. If you're here, you get a free T-shirt, you get an orange wristband, and you get in a drawing for a Rays jersey. I asked for the BA, but unfortunately it didn't happen as you see a base hit there to lead off the inning for Evan Longoria. They only do 1, 2, or 3 levels on the Clippers BA, so you can't go full Brian Anderson, but you can get a good haircut for a great cause, guys.
Yeah, and apparently they're giving barbering lessons as well.
I mean, that's aggressive. Just take over.
It's a vocational experience as well as a fundraiser for Cut for a Cure.
Yeah, see, that's how I started mine, with the different guards, working it all the way down.
Yeah.
So you got to go against the grain. With the grain, it's not gonna get the desired result.
James Loney with Longoria at first.
Didn't have a lot of work to do on the one gentleman. He should go. I'm telling you, that's where you go with the razor. See, I went put down to the one guard and then no guard, then balding Clippers, and then said, you know what? Forget that. I'm going to go with a razor and just take a leap of faith that I don't scalp myself and go that route, and it's the greatest thing ever. You want to feel it, Dwayne?
Feels so good. And a cut and a miss. Only chased that last pitch up. That's part of that repertoire of Sonny Gray that has all kinds of movement. Still 2 strikes. Longoria at first, 2 strikes. The ball, 2 strikes. It's Logan Forsythe on deck. Oakland got single runs in the first and third. This one deflects off Gray. It'll be picked up by the first baseman Canha for the out. Longoria winds up at second. And that shot off the bat of Loney got Sonny Gray. They're going to take a look at him.
Boy, right off that the side of his leg, down to the shin, calf area, as he spins over. Right there, right closer to the ankle, actually. And obviously that is the push-off leg. A lot of power generated from there.
Well, he's taking a little stroll to see how that feels. He'll see how the push-off feels now with Vogt headed behind the plate.
Well, that's where it all starts. You get that leg, you got to be able to push off that rubber, generate the power with that leg. He's cleared himself.
Yeah. Well, that's going to bring up Logan Forsythe here, our T-Mobile game changer. Here's why. Logan is the game changer over the last 31 games, hitting .311. driving in 13 runs in that stretch.
It's the broken bat shot. You're going good, you're going good. Finding holes with a broken bat.
Well, he's up here now against Gray. His pitch is a high fastball. Logan singled his first time, dropped one into center field. Picked up a stolen base and advanced to third, was left there. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
This is where, if you're the Rays, you've got to start to push Sonny Gray, cash in. This is a guy, 6 of his 9 starts, he's given up 1 earned or 0 earned runs. And coming into this start, he was only averaging having 4 at-bats a game with runners in scoring position. So you just don't get that many opportunities. And when you do, you've got to cash in. They've already had 1, 2.
And here's 3.
Yeah, and so you're not gonna. He's not typically in trouble like this very often. Yikes!
How about that?
Could have done without that graphic.
Get him early.
Yeah. Does this still count?
And Forsythe is out on strikes. That fastball up around 94 there.
And you know, we've seen him do that a couple of times tonight, you know, this afternoon, where he will rear back, get an extra 2, maybe 3 miles an hour from where he normally sits with the fastball. And any little bit helps.
Well, he is a guy that if you get a chance, do all you can to take advantage of it. And here's the matchup. David DeJesus, who has been hot now with 2 outs, and Longoria at second base. Pitch is a strike.
That fly out in the second inning, that ball was well hit to left field. That drove Sam Fuld back near the warning track. It's been an impressive year here for David DeJesus and his team. Love for him to come through right here.
And strike 2.
That's filthy. I mean,
telling you.
Yeah, that's a hard slider that starts off the plate away, and then look at that rip right back to the corner. That is a nasty pitch.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing with that. He knows that he can start a lot of pitches outside the zone, and they find their way to the strike zone. A little tapper foul. That's what he did with that slider. Exactly what he did with DeJesus.
When you have pitches that you can throw on the outer third and run it off, this pitch right here looked like it was going to be a cutter, a little bit of a side rotation to that. David DeJesus pounds it off the foot, foul ball anyway. But you've got pitches that you can run off the plate, and then pitches that you can take from just off the plate and run them back on and use both sides. That's why he has the numbers that he has. You combine that ability to pitch with his stuff.
Back to the mound. Gray with the underhanded toss, and the Rays get the leadoff man aboard and leave him on. On to the 5th, 2-0 Oakland. moment in Rays history, presented by Geico. It was on this day in 2006. Carl Crawford went 5 for 5, tying a franchise record for hits in a game. He also scored a franchise record 5 runs and stole 4 bases in what turned out to be a career game at Rogers Center in Toronto for Carl Crawford. On to the 5th inning, top of the order. Billy Burns hits a fly ball to right field, sending Geyer back to the track. Once gotten into Billy Burns, Geyer makes the catch on the track. Burns led off this game with his first big league home run, and then singled and scored a run in the 3rd. Jumped on that one and gave it a little bit of a ride.
They're trying to have a Carl Crawford type day.
Yeah, check the bat.
I mean, really.
Simeon taking a strike. You know, here's a leadoff guy. He's been to the plate 3 times today. A little tap and halfway to the mound, picked up, and Ramirez makes the play. How about this? Billy Burns, a leadoff man. 3 at bats, 3 pitches seen, and he scored 2 runs.
Yeah, and the homer, the single, and takes Geyer back to the wall.
Yeah. What's up?
Well, you may think about moving him down in the order a little bit.
Leadoff guy, I want you to work the count a little bit more. Well, this is working out pretty good right now. Josh Reddick takes an off-speed pitch for a strike.
Taking that more aggressive approach. You know, this is an offense where the overall numbers, you know, look pretty solid, but it's been the last few weeks where they have really struggled to score runs. I mean, less than 3 a game.
Yeah, and they haven't won many close games either.
Oh, it's shocking, that record.
2 and 13, 1-run games. 2 balls and a strike.
You just wonder. I mean, those are demoralizing numbers. To be in every game, you know, you fight and claw for 3 hours, and it's a 1-run game, and you're losing almost all of that. Got to take a toll.
Pop into foul territory. So Reddick is out of there. Longoria taking care of that. 2-0 Oakland.
Bottom half of the 5th inning, the Oakland A's leading the Rays by the score of 2-0. For the Rays, another roster move after the game last night. Eddie Ramirez, who was used extensively and really saved the bullpen, going back to AAA Durham after the game. And the Rays bring up Preston Guillemette, and he's a guy that Kevin Cash knew in his days as the Cleveland Indians bullpen coach. Pitched briefly with the Indians a couple years ago, last year briefly with the Orioles, and the Rays are happy to have him here And Kevin gave us a quick scouting report. Fastball, split guy, occasional slider. And guys, as you see today, hopefully Erasmo Ramirez can go more than 5 innings. The Rays have had a lot of starters in the past 12 days go less than 7 innings, so the bullpen has been used a lot. You may see this revolving door in the bullpen as we go forward, unless the Rays starters can go deeper. Back to you.
Well, the Rays certainly testing organizational depth here the first quarter of this season. They've gotten to the point where they've done in a quarter of a season what you might do all year long.
It really is astounding, the number not only of players but pitchers specifically that they have run through, and we're not out of May. And some pitchers that they would like to be using that they've not been able to.
Counts the ball, 2 strikes to Asdrubal Cabrera. Geyer to follow, and then Wilson. Cabrera grounded out his first time back in the 2nd inning. Gray out there pitching with the approach that you might expect from a veteran, a youthful looking right-hander, and he just strikes out Cabrera looking there.
Oh, that was that same breaking ball off the plate, and Asdrubal Cabrera, he sees this ball off the plate away, and look at the action, bringing it right back to the corner. That is just, that's a nasty pitch. We've seen him use it a few times tonight with great success, and it does catch that outside corner.
And that's not unusual for a hitter to react that way, because it's a ball all the way until that late break, and then it drops into the strike zone, and this time for strike 3.
You know, when does a hitter have to make a decision to swing? The ball's out, halfway there, whatever it is.
Yep. Sharply hit to third. Muncy plays this one, and Geyer's out number 2.
And so that ball out of the hand, when Asdrubal Cabrera had to make his mind up, am I swinging or am I not? He was right initially.
Yeah.
That ball's out of the zone. It's up and away, and so I'm going to take it. Well, then that late action, and he's saying, but wait a minute, that ball was off the plate, and it was. But I'm telling you that there's just nothing you can do with that pitch. Nothing productive. Maybe foul it off.
Ball on to Wilson. Yeah, Gray is a guy who gets his share amount of swing and misses, but he also gets a lot of call third strikes on pitches like that.
And that's the way that you'll get it. I mean, you get the swings and misses on the balls that you start in the zone and take it out of the zone. They chase. The balls that you start out of the zone, the hitter assumes, well, if it starts out of the zone, it's going to stay out of the zone. And those are the ones that get called and not swung at. They give up on it.
Ground ball to third. Muncy has this one, and it's a 1-2-3. Quick inning for Gray. On to the 6th. 2-0 Oakland. Erasmo Ramirez greeted rudely on the first pitch of the game. Billy Burns hitting his first big league home run to give Oakland the early lead. Stephen Vogt got the other run home. Burns scoring from third on a fly ball. And that's been it in the scoring department in this 2-0 ball game. We're headed into the 6th. So it's Billy Burns 2 and the Rays nothing right now. Stephen Vogt's going to lead it off against Ramirez. And Vogt takes it down and in. Walk and a sacrifice fly by Vogt. His 32nd run batted in. He's having a great year at the plate. And lays off the same pitch. 2-0.
Well, and I think it was after the first game of this series where I read that Billy Beane, there were we had actually talked about it, about when do you start to sell the valuable pieces. Will Oakland do that if they continue to flail and be buried in the standings? And Billy Beane had come out and said no chance he's trading Stephen Vogt. Came out, and now what does that mean? I don't know. I mean, is that part of the leverage?
Sometimes it's a prelude.
That's right. That's right. But it was absolutely, the subject was broached because of the year that he's having out of nowhere.
If you were in the GM's position, wouldn't you say, no way I would trade this
That's
guy.
right.
Are you kidding me?
Yep, that price tag starts to go up a little bit. Yeah, because at the end of the day, in this game, how many guys are truly untradeable if you get the right offer? Yeah. How many?
Well, look at that list and look at how many of those guys. Now, you've got a couple young guys there on that bottom row, but you look at, those are some pretty good hitters right there.
Right.
You look at that. Have they been with more than one team?
Well, Nelson Cruz has been, every year he's been moving around.
Exactly.
Okay, Cabrera. Okay, Prince Fielder with a new team.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Upton just got traded this offseason. Not Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt is a mainstay.
Vogt draws a walk. It's 4 walks given up by Ramirez. And this one leads off an inning. He got away with a leadoff walk in the 4th. In fact, 2 walks. And now a leadoff walk in the 6th. Here's Billy Butler. Oh, pitch riding in on him and gets him.
Or did it get the bottom of the bat? That almost sounded like it could have been a foul ball.
It sounded as if it might have hit the bat, but he's got all that protection up there too. Let's see.
Number 50, Max Muncy.
Yep. Elbow.
So it hit.
That was the
that
sound
guard.
Of body armor.
And the first 2 men are on here in the 6th. Cut in the mitt. Change up there by Muncy. It'll be toward the line, and Butler's there to catch it. So Ramirez gets the first out in the 6th inning after 2 opening walks.
Number 20, Mark
God, he's going to have to get the 2nd and the 3rd also, because that Rays bullpen right now quiet. Ramirez out here in the 6th inning. Really unknown territory for him with the Rays.
His pitch count right now at 83. And a drive off the bat of Canha, and that one is out of here. Canha hits a 3-run home run, and that will make it 5-0 Oakland.
Well, and the unfortunate part of all this is that 2 of the 3 runs that just scored, self-inflicted wounds. A walk, a hit by pitch, and then 1 mistake, and that's a 3-run blast. Blows this game wide open.
That's his 6th home run of the year. Canha. And just like that, a 5-run deficit for the Rays. Now Eric Sogard takes the ball low. Two and nothing. So 5 runs, 5 hits, and 2 of those hits home runs. And he's behind Sogard 3-1.
And what was going to be a difficult task anyway, the way that Sonny Gray is starting to settle into this game, just got a whole lot more difficult.
Yep.
And another walk.
2 walks in the inning and a hit batter. This walk follows the home run. Well, the bullpen starts to move a little bit now. Friari gets up in honor of Memorial Day weekend. Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. Jim Hickey out there taking a little time on the mound and engaging Joe West in a little conversation as well. And Ernesto Friari begins to throw in the bullpen. Sam Fold. Fold with a couple strikeouts against Ramirez today. There's a strike at the knees. It's Dan Otero in the bullpen for Oakland. It's 1-1. Move to first. Interesting that Otero is up out there.
I thought the same thing. You're wondering, you got, Sonny Gray throwing the ball very well.
67 pitches.
Yeah.
5.
Maybe the ball off the leg. Stiffening maybe. But that is strange. I have to see how that progresses. Oh, that would be the biggest lift that the Rays could get.
Sure would. We just had another phone call down there, and Otero continues to loosen. And there's ball 2. 2-2 on Sam Fold. Yeah, this game could get really interesting if that happens.
Well, this Oakland bullpen, their numbers, some of the worst in Major League Baseball. And if they would have to cover just almost half the game, you could have some real opportunities.
Yeah, so here, with at least the potential of that, they're Rays in a situation here where you can see what the bullpen has done for Oakland. A situation here where it's important to hold Oakland even more now. Runner goes, pitch it on the ground, right to the shortstop Cabrera. He gets the out, and from the seat of his pants makes the throw to complete the double play. Well, form, not sure. Effectiveness, right on the money, and here it is again. 6-3 double play. And 3 runs scored in the top. "15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance." By H. Gregg, top brands, low prices, fast delivery. Gregg's got it. And by Courtesy Toyota, you'll love what we do for you. Well, it's 5-0. We're moving into the bottom of the 6th inning. That's the bad news. The good news is that whatever this Oakland bullpen does, Sonny Gray's out of the game because the Rays weren't doing much with him.
No, not at all. Dan Otero comes on for the 21st time. That ERA at 4.5 in 20 innings of work. So the door has been opened.
Top of the order, and here's a ground ball back to the mound, fumbled by Otero, but he recovers and makes the toss to get Kiermaier. Well, the young right-hander Sonny Gray was very good again today.
You know, he was good. The Rays had some opportunities against him, but when he had to ramp it up and make a pitch, he did just that. That slider, very good. He would hump up on the fastball, sit down there in the low 90s, get it up to 94, and then, of course, that curveball, that slurve breaking ball that he would use backdoor. He just knuckled down when he had to, and had his pitch count in order too.
Yeah, Gray, to be so young is so veteran-like.
Yeah, good mound presence, but you can just see a great idea of how to use his pitches. You know, there's guys in this game that have great stuff, and they get away with it because it's great stuff. Really don't have an idea how to use it properly, but it's just so good that they can almost throw up anything, and if it's near the zone, it's going to work out.
You know, he's so young that they tell me he's had fans on the road in Minnesota in one case thinking that in the dugout pregame this went into right field and that's going to fall for a base hit for Joey Butler, and the Rays have a base runner. He's had fans ask him on the road, "Hey, Bat Boy, could you get me a baseball?" And then he comes out and pitches like he's been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah, when I'm done with this shutout, I'll flip one into the stands to you. No, you're right. He does have just a mind for pitching, a mind for sequencing, and looks like he's 12.
Yeah. And the execution's just outstanding. So he was very good. And you have to wonder about that shot he took off the right shin and the ankle area, if that had something to do with the early departure. Here's Longoria taking a strike from Otero. Into right center field, but Reddick is lined up to catch it. Now 2 gone. James Loney with a single and a ground ball out. Well, the Rays started the day in first by a 1.5 over New York. Yankees are going to play the Rangers tonight at Yankee Stadium.
I think they've given up 25 runs in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and lost 5 in a row. James Loney with a count of 1-1. So Texas and the Yankees tonight in the Bronx. Loney tracks this one too low. 2-1. Red Sox at home have a 2-0 lead in the top of the 5th over the Angels. Angels hitting right now. Oakland leading this one over the Rays. And the Orioles trail the Marlins in the bottom of the 5th, and Miami 5-0. And the Blue Jays have a 4-1 lead on the Mariners in the bottom of the 6th in Toronto. Mariners will be headed this way for a series to complete this homestand. Well, the count is now full with 2 outs. Butler, the runner at first, so he'll be off with this pitch. Ground ball charged by Simeon. Throw to first in time. The Rays going to hit, leave a man. We head into the 7th. It's 5-0 Oakland. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. Buy Checkers. Get Checkers Authentic Philly Cheesesteak or try the new Meatball Sub. Pick yours, too, for $5. And buy your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. At Tropicana Field this afternoon, wrap-up game in this series against the Athletics. Ernesto Frieri will take over on the mound. 6 innings for the Rays starter, Erasmo Ramirez. And so here's Frieri facing the top of the order, Billy Burns. He wears number 1, and he has, out of that leadoff spot, put together a very good day. His first home run of the year, first home run of his career. Singled and scored in the 3rd. Oh, the cut and a miss, 0-2. Now we're getting a report on Sonny Gray, who left with a right ankle contusion, so he's gone after 5. Confirming our conjecture. Swing and a miss. Burns out on strikes this time. Ramirez for the Rays worked 6 innings, gave up 5 hits. He walked 5, struck out 4, charged with 5 earned runs, a couple of home runs, and 95 pitches for Erasmo Ramirez.
A couple of things today that he's been able to stay away from really bit him. That's the long ball. He'd given up just 2 home runs on the season. He gives up a couple today, and the walks.
Line drive caught by Longoria. Simeon hit it hard, but right at Evan, 2 gone. Base is empty with 2 outs for Josh Reddick. Reddick singled in the 3rd, was picked off on a play challenged by the Rays, and they prevailed, getting it overturned. Takes a strike. There's a long one to right field. Geyer will turn and watch that one sail into the seats. Reddick has hit his 7th home run of the year, and that will make it a 6-0 game. 3rd home run hit by Oakland here this afternoon.
Well, able to get just enough lift on this. Frieri going to come with the fastball, and that just a little bit too much plate, and it allows Josh Reddick to get full extension and solid contact.
Stephen Vogt, he drove in a run with a fly ball to center field in the 3rd and has walked twice. Pitch is a strike. Vogt and Joe West. There's a little conversation here, and West helping dress him properly. Got that protection around the sleeve there, and made sure that there's a proper fit. One and one. Well, Joe West very diligent when it comes to the sartorial splendor of players.
And you'll explain that to me in between innings. That'd be great.
He just likes them to look good in their uniforms.
Okay. Gotcha.
1-2 the count. Foul out of play.
And Joe West is not the type of umpire that you're going to take real exception with if you want to stay in this game.
That's right.
You get a quick trigger. It's Cowboy, you know.
That's right. The blue Cowboy.
And if you try to object to his sartorial splendor, he'll fire you right out of here. going to work on that.
Yeah. Well, he was very particular with his album covers. You know, he's recorded country and western songs, and you know, you've got to put yourself on display there in the front of that album or CD or whatever it is they're recording now. They look pretty good. Ground ball up the middle. That's Cabrera knocking it down, throwing low, and safe the call at first. Loney could not corral that throw that skipped in there. So Stephen Vogt is aboard. That's an error charged to Cabrera. Speaking of sartorial splendor, ladies and gentlemen, here is Todd Callis.
Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate it.
Certainly welcome.
We have a little injury report. Just heard from the Rays clubhouse. Steven Souza Jr. leaves the game with a sprained left wrist. Souza Jr. now day to day. So sprained left wrist from the Rays clubhouse. Guys, back to you.
Okay, and we'll update on the Rays outfielder. And here is Billy Butler fouling it right back. So let's hope that it's nothing more than that and that the Rays will not lose Souza for any extended period. You can see and hear Todd's report right there, day to day. It's kind of a catch-all phrase.
You always, with injuries like that, and it looked to be, you know, at least in part when he landed on it, that certainly, if it was injured before, that didn't help. But you always want to wait and see how they feel the next day.
Long run for Geyer, and he gets there. Covered a lot of ground and right down into the bullpen. He makes a fine catch on that one in foul territory. Again, great effort from Brandon Geyer, as you get all the time. And it's 6-0 Oakland. Here at Tropicana Field and refueling for the stretch drive. Tomorrow the Seattle Mariners will be coming to town, and our coverage begins at 6:30 on Sun Sports with Jake Odorizzi on the hill. It'll be after his fourth win. Jake has pitched so well right now. 3-4, deserves a much better record than that.
Especially when you take a look at that ERA, 2.43, and you know he's been a horse. He's pitched deep into every game. That was one of the goals of his coming in, and I think you can say with confidence that now that he's 9, 10 starts into the season, mission accomplished, and he's got a lot of confidence brewing and look to even that record tomorrow.
Sonny Gray worked the first 5. Dan Otero came on, worked the 6th inning. Rays got a hit off him and left the man aboard. And Logan Forsythe will begin the bottom of the 7th. First pitch strike from Otero. The Rays get some further action in the bullpen. Gomet up. Cut and a miss. 0-2. Stairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's Preston Gomet down in the bullpen. Two and 2. Otero spent pretty much the entire season, close to it last year with Oakland. He made 72 appearances for them last year. Comes in off the plate. The count is full. Well, we say pretty much. I mean, how could you make 72 appearances and not be with the team all season? But he did spend 3 days in the minor leagues. But 72 games last year for Oakland.
That's a pretty good workload.
To his left, Muncy with the pickup and the throw from third. Forsythe the first out in the 7th.
And you can see with Otero, he's not a stuff guy. He's more deception, the lower arm angle, try to create some movement on his pitches, sweep the slider, sink, get a lot of ground balls.
You know, that's the great thing about pitching. There's so many ways to approach it and be successful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all different arm angles, different variations of speed, pitch sequencing. You talk about that stuff all day long. You know, even the example earlier, when if you talk to Erasmo Ramirez and he says, yeah, fastball slider. Chris Archer, fastball slider. They're not the same. They're not even close to the same.
Yep.
Velocity, movement or lack of movement, depth on the slider, sweeping slider. There's just so many ways. How about if you just went through grips on a changeup? I mean, you have Vulcan changeup, 3-finger prong, traditional changeup, circle changeup, split changeup, palm ball, Fosh.
Yeah. And with all of that, there's still guys who just can't effectively throw that pitch.
I know.
Add a change. We've got 10 options for you. That one doesn't work. Doesn't feel right. This one can't do it. Check, 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 check.
Yeah. You're hoping you run into one.
Yep. That's what makes it so remarkable. That's one of the things that makes this game so remarkable. Ground ball. Sogard, how about that with a tumble and turn and throw and out at first.
Style points. I don't know if his feet got caught up together, but he took a tumble, kept his wits about him. Oh. You could see his teeth as he was going down. He already knew. Uh-oh.
And for his next trick, join us next half inning. How about that? A cut and a miss by Asdrubal Cabrera. Yeah, apparently Sogard didn't ride the team bus. He was on the tumble bus on his way to the ballpark and just gave us a little example of how he got here. 1 ball, 1 strike. of like that.
He never gave up. That's the worst too, because you know, I mean, your foot's caught and the momentum's going, and your mind is saying, just, you know what, don't fight it. Don't fight it.
You just go with it.
Go with it. We'll see where it ends up.
And then sell it. Pop up and smile and sell it.
No, he knows what's awaiting him once he gets back to the dugout.
Without a doubt.
A full coaching staff and all of his teammates.
Cabrera fouls this one out of play. Count holding at 1-2.
That's the one thing about that clubhouse culture, dugout stuff. Don't make a mistake, an obvious mistake. It doesn't go unnoticed, and it will be brought up.
Yep.
At a most inopportune time. That even happens up here in the booth.
It does?
The ISO.
There is a base hit reaching out. Getting that soft liner into right. Cabrera makes the turn, but he'll hang on. Reddick with a great arm to begin with. And got that one back into second. So Cabrera has a base hit. 2-out single in the 7th.
Well, able to just go down there and reach a little out in front, but you know, he kept the hands back long enough that he gave himself a chance, and it worked out.
Brandon Guyer. That's a foul ball into the stands. Base hit into center. Guyer punches it through. 2 men on, 2 men out.
Oh, it's one at a time. It's one at bat at a time. Try to get on the board first, and then try to make some noise after that.
Now it'll be Bobby Wilson looking for his first hit of the day. Strikeout and a ground out. Rays have now out-hit Oakland 7-6. But they trail as they try to chip away at the 6-run deficit. Again, the bullpen for Oakland has been suspect, so you just never know. Again, Rodriguez up in the bullpen now. Bobby takes a strike. 2-1. Or 2-2 now. Popper on the infield. Shortstop Semien takes care of it. The Rays with a couple hits lead 2 and trail 6-0. And today's game summary brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. Oakland jumped on the very first pitch of the game to grab the lead, and they have not given that up. They've added 5 more runs. It's 6-0 as we move into the 8th. Ramirez gave up a couple of home runs. Frieri gave up 1, and now Preston Gilmet debuts in a Rays uniform and throws a first pitch strike into Max Muncy.
Threw a first pitch strike and then kept the ball. It's a great start for Gilmet. What that was all about.
There's another strike. This one will stay in play.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. First pitch fastball, strike 1.
It's not easy being the crew chief.
He's getting active here in the last few innings. He figured, listen, I had no cause to eject Stephen Vogt, but I'm going to eject this baseball. You're gone. And then you back there, you can zip it too.
Tap to the left side. And Longoria takes care of that. Muncy is out of there. 1 out. You can get in on the action with exclusive on-field seating in the Papa John's bullpen box. Host your group of 50 to 85 in the private party area and make long-lasting memories. Reserve the Papa John's bullpen box by contacting group sales at 888-FAN-RAYS or visiting RaysBaseball.com. Limited dates remain. There's a first pitch strike. One out, base is empty. Arcanja homered in the 6th inning. 1-1. Chase that one in the dirt. Split from the right-hander Gilmet. Two. That fastball around 89, 90. Split in the slider.
Gilmet trying to give you some deception with the arm angle straight over the top.
Lined up the left side. That's headed toward the corner. Canha's going to get an extra base hit here. So he follows up the 6th inning home run with a double.
You know, the last couple of ball games here, Canha, you've been impressed with his approach. You know, here's a split that hangs and stays in, but he's able to pull the hands in and get solid contact. He hit that home run and had some good at bats in last night's game.
He did. He had a couple of walks and a single in that one. So he's got a chance to leave town swinging a hot bat and with both sideburns completely grown in. That right one is taking hold.
Been good progress overnight. No question.
There's a strike to Eric Sogard. One the count. Sogard walked in the 6th inning. One of 5 bases on balls surrendered by the Rays starter. Ground ball toward the middle, and Cabrera positioned perfectly. Canha goes to third. He'll be there with 2 outs.
And that's the part that really hurt the Rays today. You knew it was going to be a tough day anyway because of Sonny Gray, and you just look at his numbers and know that it's tough to get stuff going off of him. But then you add in those walks and the fact they've given up some home runs, and it's been a sobering, and this game's not over yet, but it's been a sobering end to this series that started off so well. You know, Oakland, a team that came in reeling. The Rays able to win the first 2. Good chance to win the series, and want to get really greedy, go for the sweep, and get shut out yesterday and haven't scored yet today.
Well, I wasn't going to bring this up, but Rick Odioso, our statistician, insists the Rays haven't scored in 16 innings. Not since Tim Beckham hit that home run and was sent down.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, speaks for itself.
Well, let's hope that doesn't last 10 days.
No,
until they can get him back.
Well, I'm sure Beckham is down there going, yeah, let's release that hold on the offense and let's score a flood of runs. Swing and a miss. Fold is out on strikes. We're headed into the bottom half of the 8th. 6-0 Oakland. Six nothing. Rays still looking for their first run, even though they've picked up 7 hits in this game. Homestand continues tomorrow. Our coverage begins at 6:30. And Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers, will feature the special Memorial Day feature. And we'll hear from Jake Odorizzi, who will be headed to the mound tomorrow. Seattle Mariners will be in town. Kevin Kiermaier will lead off against Fernando Rodriguez, the new pitcher for Oakland. Pitch outside, 1-0. Sonny Gray worked 5 innings and left with a contusion of the right ankle. Dan Otero covered 2 innings, and now it's Rodriguez in here. Kiermaier missed that one. Rodriguez pitched a third of an inning in Thursday's game, won by the Rays 3-0. Oh, 1-2.
Good firm fastball. We've seen it at 93, 94. Tries to ride that pitch. 6'3", a higher arm angle. Ride that pitch up in the zone.
Two balls, 2 strikes. That's Joey Butler on deck. Kiermaier is out reaching. Fastball down, and he is out number 1.
Well, he just stayed with that heater, and it's firm. This pitch running away, and Kiermaier trying to protect, and that ball just kind of took off on him.
Here's Joey Butler. 1 out of 2. Takes a big cut at the fastball. Butler entered the game in the 3rd inning when Souza could not finish his at bat. Oh, 2. Hard stuff again.
Invisible. I mean, he had a little bit of arm side run there on Kiermaier on that pitch that was away from him, but pretty straight fastball, but good life.
Lifted toward right center field, and Burns could not come up with it. Butler's in head first at second. Burns appeared that he was going to catch that ball and suddenly found himself stretched out trying to make a diving grab.
And talking to Josh Reddick, because where you see where that ball landed, we'll have to see where Josh Reddick started, but standard right field, he shouldn't have even been making that play. That should have been Josh Reddick's ball the whole way. And it did look like he had a beat on it at the end, and then just comes up empty. But this is a ball that has absolutely got to be caught by somebody. It was hung up there forever, but the Rays will take it. Joey Butler will take it.
So he enters the game late and is 2 out of 3, picking up a double. Here's Evan Longoria. Strike 1. One the count. Blue Jays now have an 8-2 lead on the Mariners in the bottom of the 7th inning in Toronto. And the Marlins lead the Orioles 5-1, top of the 7th in Miami. Two balls and a strike. Red Sox hit in the bottom of the 7th at Fenway. They lead the Angels 3-1, and the Yankees play at home tonight. It'll be Texas and New York in the Bronx. Evan, after that pitch, fastball up a bit, and he fouled it 2-2. James Loney on deck. One of the Rays trying to find a way to score. Shutout last night, 5-0. Down 6-0 in this one. Full count. All 4, and the Rays get a couple base runners again. Pick up a base on the first walk given up by Oakland pitching. So Longoria will be at first, Butler at second for Loney.
Well, this is typically how you get some big innings to start. A ball hit out there by Joey Butler on a play that really should have been made at the end of the day was not. Turns into a double, then a walk. Start small and build from there. At least make this thing interesting.
Kurt Young makes a visit to the mound. He's trying to get out ahead of any potential issue. I mean, he has seen this bullpen struggle. He's trying to cut things off at the pass.
First baseman, number 21, James Loney.
Well, especially when you see who's coming up here. Loney will work a good at bat. Logan Forsythe on deck, who's been swinging a consistently good bat for the Rays all year. And then, of course, David DeJesus, who's been on fire.
Well, we'll see what Loney can do. He takes one upstairs. Rays have stranded 6 in the game so far. Off the plate in, 2-0. Big cut.
That was one. That was one of the times. You'll see that every once in a while from James Loney. He's content to spray the ball around the field, take his singles and doubles, but every now and then he will turn it loose. Had to figure a guy who's just walked a man, big lead at 2-0. You're going to get a fastball. Probably get another one here.
It's fouled into the screen. It was the fastball. Count goes to 2-2. Logan Forsythe on deck. Evan Scribner's busy in the bullpen. Out of play. Another fastball. In the area of 94 miles per hour for Fernando Rodriguez. That runs the count all the way to 3-2. Full count pitch. Liner into left for a base hit. Bases are going to be loaded. Full playing shallow in left. Got to the ball quickly. Butler had to stop at third, and the bases are loaded.
We talked about this Oakland bullpen, prone to giving up big innings, and James Loney, nice job there on a borderline pitch. Strike away, and he pops that out there, and now you got bases juiced.
And Melvin pops out,
and 2 of your more productive hitters coming up here.
Well, Rodriguez got the first man, but will leave with the bases loaded. Back with a new Oakland pitcher in a moment. Reminder, next month, the FIFA Women's World Cup begins. Alex Morgan will lead the U.S. Women's National Team against the best teams in the world, searching for their third World Cup title. The only place you can see the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup is on Fox and Fox Sports 1 beginning June the 6th. Evan Scribner out of the bullpen, fourth pitcher now for Oakland today. Third game in a row Scribner has been in. Logan Forsythe takes a strike.
He's been one of the go-to guys for Bob Melvin, trying to get out of this jam. Got the fastball. We've seen a good curve, slow curve with depth.
Line drive, base hit up the middle. Butler scores. Longoria heads to the plate. Rays are on the board with two. Logan Forsythe comes through, giving him 20 runs batted in on the year.
Well, the A's bullpen living it up to its reputation. Logan Forsythe got a slider there, and he went down and just played pepper the middle of the field. And they are making it interesting, Dwayne.
Yes, they are. David DeJesus will be up there. Well, you really got the feeling that Melvin wanted to stay away from Scribner, having used him 2 days in a row. And there are times when he would try to use him more than one inning, just to try to quell what has been an opposing uprising against this Oakland bullpen. What seems like night in and night out. There's a strike to DeJesus. He got a couple of innings from Otero and could not get more than a third from Rodriguez. Line shot into right. Reddick is there to make the catch. And that will be out number 2.
That your voice right there said it all. There was that hope that that ball was going to hook and get away from Reddick out in right field. A nice job of hitting by DeJesus, keeping the hands back, giving himself a chance on that breaking ball, but just right at him.
Boy, that would have made it interesting.
Oh boy!
It?
Oh boy! You're looking at potentially, you know, right at him. If he could have hooked that a little bit more, yeah, maybe 2 more in.
Nick Franklin will hit for Cabrera. Takes a pitch low. Holmes up in the bullpen for the Rays. We saw Tyler Clippard up for Oakland. Strike at the knees, 1-1. Runners take off, throw down to third. Not in time. Loney and Forsythe come together and steal a couple bases here.
Just like you drew it up. Look at James Loney. Well, he got a right start, and they're going to go for him down at third base, but he gets in safely. Look at Loney starting to run a little bit.
Steal of third, no less, on the double steal. Franklin strikes out, pinch hitting. So at the end of 8, it's 6-2 Oakland. have jammed what appeared to be the finger on his left hand, or maybe fingers, hit him into the bag. This was between innings. Just checking to make sure he's all right. Only picking up his first steal of the year, and it was not without some discomfort anyway.
Well, it's one of the dangers of, number one, the head first slide, and the fact that we've talked about it before. These bases do not move, do not give.
So Franklin stays on to play short, and the first pitch is a ball up to Billy Burns. One and one. Burns opened the game with his first big league home run on the very first pitch of the day. Singled and scored in the third. Now 1-2. Preston Gelmet just joining the club, doing the pitching. Joe West, a little conversation with Billy Burns. It's foul back. On deck, Marcus Semien. Ground ball. Franklin gloves and throws, and it's not in time. Boy, with the speed of Burns, Franklin did all he could do, and Burns has his third hit of the game.
Yeah, Nick Franklin had to range to his right, backhand, now get rid of it quickly with something on it, and he was able to do that. That close.
So it's a leadoff infield hit for Burns. The move to first. Burns was 6 of 8 in the steal department. A definite threat over there. He's going, and the pitch is fouled. A roller toward third. Burns will head back to first.
Oakland not content to sit on this 4-run lead, knowing the struggles of the bullpen, and would like to get it out of that grand slam range. And Billy Burns has been a menace today.
He's overstayed his welcome. This is the 4th day of this series, and boy, he's come to life offensively.
But he's got a big lead too. He's got that way out by the cut.
He's going. The throw down will not get him. Steal number 7 for Burns.
Well, big lead, good jump. Bobby Wilson as quick as he can to get down there, and I think there was a play to be made here. It would have had to have been absolutely perfect. No margin for error with Burns' speed.
2-1. Gilmet gave up a double in the 8th and left a man on base. Now contending with the infield hit for Burns and a steal of second. 2-2. Semien missing that pitch. Leone and Clippard still busy in the bullpen. Clifford was up in the bottom of the 8th. Now the count is full. Burns at second. Semien taking the count all the way out. Ball 4. So after getting ahead of Semien, Helmet gives up the walk. So 2 on, nobody out. And Josh Reddick, who homered his last time up here in the 7th inning, or in the 9th inning after that 7th inning home run. He has a single that came back in the 3rd. Skies it deep to left center. Butler will go to the track after it, making the catch. A tag. Burns is headed to 3rd. Holding at first is Semien. A long fly ball the opposite way by Reddick.
Well, and heads up base running by Billy Burns. You know, he had started to get off second base, maybe thinking that ball was going to get up against the wall or over Butler's head, and then recognizing it's going to be caught, hustled back to second, and still able to get to 3rd. Less than 2. Yeah, far too long. 3 days, fine. 4, yep. You need to get on that charter.
Yep. Now Stephen Vogt upstairs. Vogt with a couple of walks. He drove it around with a fly ball in the 3rd. It's a 1-1 count. Rays, regardless of what happens in this game and the game in New York, the Rays will be in first place on Memorial Day tomorrow as they open against Seattle. We started the day a game and a half in front of New York. They're down in this game, and the Yankees play the Rangers tonight in the Bronx. Fly ball toward the left field line, and that slices enough that it's a foul ball and out of the reach of Butler. It'll be the 4th time in the Rays' history that they will have been in first place on Memorial Day.
Well, that's one of the first times where you start to break down a season and who's a contender, who's a pretender. Always nice to be in first.
Pull to right. Geyer's going to make the catch. The tag. Burns will score, and so the speed of Burns produces another run. Vogt's fly ball. His second sacrifice fly of the day. And it's 7-2, a 5-run game again.
Well, and Vogt continues to produce.
He's up to 33 runs batted in.
Yeah, and he had come into this series on a 1-for-13 slide in his previous 5 games. That batting average a couple of weeks ago was in the mid threes, 350. And even so, he's having a tremendous year. And just to think that with the Rays, I remember you rooting for him to get a hit.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you absolutely root for.
I think he was 0 for 25 in his stint with the Rays. Hard to imagine that he was 0 for 25 at one point.
Yep. But he had always hit wherever he had been, and shows you how difficult it is just to you be up and down, and you accumulate a few at bats, and suddenly you got a significant offer going. And it's great to see him get an opportunity and be as productive as he's been. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, Billy Butler's been on 3 times. He's out this time, strikes out. That'll retire the side, but they add a run, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. 7-2 Oakland.
Of the 9th inning with the Oakland A's leading Tampa Bay 7-2. Coming up on our Rays Live post-game show presented by Checkers, we will have a review of today's game. We'll also have Rich Hollenberg in the Rays clubhouse gathering interviews. You'll hear from the manager Kevin Cash with his thoughts. We'll get you an update as well on Steven Souza Jr. And guys, Richie Schaefer, the Rays 2012 #1 pick, making his AAA debut, and he had a day to remember. All that coming up after the game on Rays Live, presented by Checkers. Back to you.
All right, well, we'll head into the bottom of the 9th inning. Arnold Leone will be the new pitcher. So they use Scribner for 2/3 of an inning and 3 hitters. And Leone is on here to work the bottom of the 9th inning with Brandon Guyer leading off. So they have their 5th pitcher of the day with Leone out there. Andy Perino's in the game at 3rd. And it's a 1-1 count on Guyer. Ground ball. Sogard remains a foot this time. And Guyer is out #1. Nice little play by Sogard.
It was.
He's a fun little player.
Yeah. Yeah, plays the game the right way, plays the game hard.
Nice player, but given the score, he's outlived his welcome here as well.
I know. And you know what? And that's what's so frustrating, because you come off that road trip where the Rays went 2-3 to Minnesota and Atlanta. And, you know, you want to get healthy again on this A's team who had been struggling. And the way that they've been struggling, you win the first 2 games of the series, and you're feeling really good about things. So this is a sour ending to this series. And
the one thing you've learned through the first quarter is that we don't see anyone in the East with that big knockout punch.
Right. Right, and that's kind of what you were hoping for. The Yankees have been in a free fall. Everybody else kind of middling through. And so, boy, if you could really take it to the A's.
Really, the team that does that at some point during the year going to be a major advantage if they can get that done. Yankees have lost 5 in a row. The Rays are a game and a half up, and it would appear they're going to split with Oakland here. Curveball is still high, and so just when you start to think, well, maybe there's a punch coming, well, you get one instead of delivering one. And Wilson is out on strikes. 2 up, 2 down against Leon.
Well, and then, you know, this coming week, starting tomorrow, you've got Seattle in town for 3, and then the Rays go on a very challenging road trip. Not only with the teams that they're going to play, but how far they're going to travel.
Baltimore, then to the West Coast, Angels, the Mariners, and then back home. That's one of those road trips that's challenging enough, as you say, when you look at the teams you're going to play.
Yeah.
But just the travel itself. High pop foul, and that's going to carry out a play. 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Kiermaier lifts it foul, headed toward the stands, and it's out of play. Curveball misses. Butler would be next if somehow the game would continue. And a cut and a miss. Fastball ends it. Kiermaier strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the 9th when the Rays go 3 up, 3 down. And the Oakland A's win this one 7-2. Sonny Gray will get his 5th win of the year. He'll go 5-2. Erasmo Ramirez will take the loss. His record drops to 2 wins and 2 losses. Took 2 hours and 53 minutes to play this game. For Oakland, 7-8-0 with 7 men left, and for the Rays, 2-10-1 with 8 men left on base before 15,692. For Brian Anderson and the rest of our crew, this is Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. If not, the outcome. Rays Live, the postgame, comes your way next. We'll be with you tomorrow night. Our coverage begins at 6:30 in the opening game of the series against the Seattle Mariners. Postgame coming your way next.